Hi, I'm Ahyat, and today we're going to look at how to become a strategic property investor. We're looking at the third mindset, which is asset selection. And in asset selection, we're looking into the selection process. So we are looking into the third stage of identifying an asset which is investment grade. Now, the two things that makes an asset investment grade is that it is tenantable assets, number one, and number two, that it has good potential for capital growth, capital appreciation. Now we're going to look into a tenantable asset. Now I'm going to make one statement before I go further into tenantable assets, is basically this. What makes an asset tenantable and good potential for capital appreciation could be the same criteria. So, you know, a lot of people say a good location. If you have an asset that has a good location, it will most likely be tenantable, very highly tenantable, and it would most likely have very good potential for capital appreciation. So sometimes what makes these two criteria happen is the same factors, right? The factor of locality and so on. But what I want to make sure is when we look into a tenantable asset, we want to first look at the most important people, the tenants themselves. So before even selecting your tenantable asset, you've got to first identify who your ideal tenant would be. So you've got to look into if you want the tenants to be working people, you want the tenants to be, you know, professionals, do you want them to be expatriates or young families or students or workers. So you've got to identify who your tenants are. When you've already identified who your tenants are, you will be able to identify what the tenants are looking for. So to make your assets as tenantable as possible, you know who your tenants are. This is like working in reverse, right? You know who your tenants are and you know exactly what they want. Okay? A couple of other things. This is number one. So understand your tenants and what they want, who they are and what they want. Okay, number two, you want to perhaps look at, you know, to have a higher chance of tenantability, you could look at these two strategies which I'm just going to share quickly, which is purchase with tenants and your guaranteed rental returns. So these two strategies, when you look into the market, can pretty much give you a better, a higher tenantability level than most other things. So let's say you are buying an asset from the secondary market, it's a sub-sale product, and you're purchasing a property with a tenant. And assuming this tenant is okay, is the ideal tenant that you are looking for, and their rental rates are the rates that you're looking for, wouldn't you agree with me that when you buy a property with a tenant, that makes the asset more tenantable? Wouldn't you agree? Because you're already buying it with a tenant. So this is a very, very powerful strategy. Of course, there are some legalities involved in this. There are some challenges and some risks involved in buying with tenants. But we're not going to go into that. But we're just going to highlight the fact that this makes it more tenantable. Secondly, you know, there's a lot of projects that offer guaranteed rental returns. Now, we're not going to even try to discuss how developers actually make it guaranteed rental return, and we're not even going to talk about the model of how developers actually can guarantee paying you that rental returns. But wouldn't you agree that an asset that you purchase, let's say it's a primary asset, you're buying it direct from developer, wouldn't you agree if the developer offered you, hey, if you buy this property, I'm going to give you 10% guaranteed rental returns. How they pay you, how they get their tenants, we don't know, but at this point, this GRR, guaranteed rental return, makes your asset more tenantable. Now, having said GRR, in fact, doesn't mean that I'm saying that this is the best strategy, but these are the little things that makes an asset more tenantable. So it's very important to know what you get yourself into when you talk about guaranteed rental returns. you better make sure of all the clauses in the agreement. But then again, this is the point that I wanted to make. When you want to choose an asset that's investment grade, number one, make sure that it's tenantable. And how you make it tenantable is when you know who your tenants are and you know exactly what they want, so you can look for them immediately. And the other strategies, purchase with tenants and all those other strategies. So thank you so much for watching. We're going to look into what makes an asset have better capital appreciation opportunity potential, and we'll catch up in the next videos. Thank you. Bye bye.